never going to believe this, right? But because I've been writing so much about Brooklyn and Nicola, they've only gone and blocked me on Instagram.
I think that the use of Instagram in this whole story is incredibly interesting.
Let's be honest, the Beckham name isn't just famous, it's legendary across the world. The Beckhams aren't just a family anymore. They're a $500 million powerhouse that runs on fame and perfection. They're basically Britain's favorite dynasty, the kind people actually cheer for. David still walks into any stadium like a king, and the crowd goes wild every single time. And Victoria, she didn't just reinvent herself, she turned Posh Spice into a full-blown fashion icon without missing a beat.
The feud started when Nicola refused to wear one of Victoria Beckham's designs. Nicola wore 3 dresses throughout her wedding day and into the night, and none of them were any of Victoria's designs.
Together, they created the ultimate fantasy, the picture of elegance, discipline, and unstoppable glam, all rolled into one flawless image. But as 2026 hits, that shiny perfection is starting to slip, not through public chaos, but in quiet cracks forming behind the scenes. The picture-perfect empire is showing its weak spots right at the center of the Beckham story. And it all kicked off with Brooklyn, the so-called golden boy. The world adored him, the quiet, photogenic kid who grew up in front of cameras. Then came Nicola Pelt, an American heiress from a billionaire clan. On paper, they were a dream match, a real-life fairy tale. But behind that glossy love story, something didn't add up. What should have been a fairy tale turned into one of pop culture's wildest family dramas ever. The rumors started off as harmless gossip, but yeah, it all kicked off with that dress. Fast forward to now, and things have spiraled into what insiders are calling a full-on legal blackout. Something serious is brewing behind those luxury mansion walls, and it's way more explosive than anyone thought. We're talking forgotten birthdays, phones going straight to voicemail, and family loyalty split right down the middle, leaving David and Victoria staring at an empty seat where Brooklyn used to be.
There was a clear intention there for David to tell the world that his son didn't want to be there. And he posted saying, "Miss you at Brooklyn Beckham." Didn't want to be there. And so that, when you see that, you're like, oh my God.
How did one of the most polished, media-trained families on earth end up falling apart in silence? It's insane, because the stuff happening behind those confidential legal notes could flip the entire Beckham legacy upside down. Every picture-perfect wedding has that one moment that defines it forever. But for Brooklyn and Nicola, it wasn't the kiss, and it definitely wasn't that flashy $4 million ceremony people couldn't stop talking about. Nope, it was the dress. When word spread that Nicola dished the Victoria Beckham design for her big day, jaws dropped around the globe. The PR team scrambled to patch things up, saying it was just creative differences and that Nicola simply fell in love with Valentino's look. Sounds classy, right? But let's get real. In the Beckham world, fashion isn't just fashion, it's Victoria's signature, her crown. That missing dress wasn't just a choice, it was a statement, and it cut deeper than any headline ever could. Fashion isn't just Victoria's career, it's the way she speaks to the world. Every single milestone, every red carpet moment, anniversary photo, or big family announcement has her fingerprints all over it. So when Nicola skipped out on wearing a Victoria Beckham design and went with another label, it wasn't just a dress decision, it was a power move. In the high-stakes world of luxury branding, that choice screamed, "I'm doing things my way." People close to the family say Victoria never saw it coming. She had already started designing the gown, cleared her schedule, and was ready to create something unforgettable. Then suddenly, total silence. Nicola's team reportedly stopped replying altogether. Picture that, Victoria Beckham, the woman who built an empire on control, getting ghosted by her future daughter-in-law. That's not just awkward, that's headline-making tension. At the wedding, Victoria did what she does best, flawless posture, that polite smile, and the perfect everything's fine face. But insiders swear she was fuming underneath. This was her world, elegance, image, and luxury, and somehow she got upstaged in her own territory. That wedding gown didn't just sparkle under the lights, it dropped a bomb inside the Beckham brand. Nicola Peltz was making it clear she wasn't joining the family to play second fiddle. Nicola wasn't just stepping into the spotlight, she was building her own, and she didn't need Victoria's stamp of approval to shine. Once the wedding glitter faded in Florida, that flawless Beckham image started to quietly come apart. You know that feeling when your close friend starts a new relationship and suddenly vanishes from your life? Now picture that, but play it out in front of millions, with a family that turns every Sunday dinner into a global event. Suddenly, the once tight Beckham crew had a glaring gap. The rest of the clan kept up appearances, Fashion Week appearances, Cotswolds retreats, glossy yacht photos, all perfectly polished like nothing changed. But Brooklyn, he was nowhere to be seen. At first, fans brushed it off. They're just newlyweds, people said. They need their space. But then the weeks turned into months, and the silence stretched so long it became impossible to ignore. Victoria's runway shows used to feel like family gatherings. Every Beckham in the front row, David, Charm, and Anna Wintour, the kids cheering like her biggest fans. But then came that one show with a painfully obvious empty seat beside Cruz and Romeo. No Brooklyn in sight. Even the Christmas family photos told the same story. David, Harper, and the boys smiling by the tree, but the eldest son missing. When reporters pressed for answers, the family brushed it off with the usual busy schedule line. But come on, in a world where every post gets dissected, it didn't take long for everyone to realize something was definitely off. Social media never lies. It shows everything in real time. While the Beckhams were hosting lavish parties in London, Brooklyn was out in LA, living a totally different life. But this wasn't just him skipping a few family get-togethers. It started to feel like he was slowly being written out of the Beckham story. The gap between them wasn't just about distance on a map. It was emotional, and fans could sense it instantly. Brooklyn found himself caught in the ultimate family showdown. His mom's high standards clashing hard with his wife's fierce independence. And by 2026, the message couldn't have been clearer. He'd picked his side, and it was all Peltz from there. These days, you don't need a press conference to start a family feud. One Instagram caption can do all the damage. Brooklyn's posts used to be filled with love for his parents, throwback pictures, warm shout-outs, little thanks mom and dad moments that melted hearts everywhere. But then things shifted. He posted a simple thank you photo, nothing unusual, except that familiar thanks mom and dad tag was missing. Within minutes, fans flooded the comments with questions. Where's Victoria? Did you forget your family? The entire comment section exploded.
And then came the move that stunned everyone. The post vanished, only to reappear with new tags. Nicola's parents. He thanked the Peltzers for their love and support. That wasn't a slip-up, it was intentional. For Victoria, who's built a legacy on controlling every detail of her family's image, this hit hard. It wasn't just a quiet snub, it was a loud, public statement, a digital act of rebellion fired straight at the heart of the Beckham brand. It was more than a social media moment, it was a public declaration. Brooklyn had officially chosen his side in what looked like a battle between two powerhouse families. David reportedly tried to step in, urging his son to keep things private and stay off social media, but it was too late. The message was already out there. Brooklyn had traded his Beckham blue for Peltz gold. In the Beckham world, birthdays aren't just personal, they're full-blown media moments. So when Victoria turned 51, everyone was waiting for that signature Brooklyn post, the sweet happy birthday mom message with a cute throwback shot that fans adore. But this time, nothing. Complete silence. Every other Beckham posted their love. Even the family pets probably showed up in the feed. But from Brooklyn, not even a single like. Insiders now say it wasn't about him being busy. By the end of 2025, whispers started flying that Brooklyn had actually blocked a few core family accounts. Tried tagging him in a photo, it wouldn't even show up. That's cold. Sources claim Victoria was heartbroken but handled it with her usual calm. No tears, no drama, just quiet strength behind closed doors. But David, that hit harder than anyone expected. He's always been the family anchor, loyal, grounded, and protective of his crew. Seeing his firstborn act like his mom didn't exist reportedly broke him.
This wasn't just a family feud anymore, it was raw, personal pain, the kind of heartbreak no amount of brand polish could hide. That was the moment the perfect hero dad image started to crack, when David Beckham, the world's favorite family man, faced something even he couldn't fix. When he turned 50 last May, it was meant to be the reunion of all reunions. The party was iconic, a glamorous, star-packed night with London's elite in full attendance. Victoria, Harper, Romeo, and Cruz showed up, picture perfect as ever, standing proud beside the man who built their empire. But Brooklyn and Nicola, they'd been spotted in London just days earlier. Same city, same timeline, and then suddenly gone. Sources say David kept a seat open right up until the last minute, holding out hope for that one moment, the father and son photo that would silence all the rumors, but it never came. No appearance, no message, not even a happy birthday dad on social media, nothing. Later that night, David quietly posted a picture of himself fishing with Romeo and Cruz. The caption hit everyone right in the chest. "Miss you, Brooklyn." It wasn't angry, it was heartbreak laid bare. You could feel the pain of a dad realizing his eldest wasn't just distant anymore, he was gone. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Brooklyn posted a casual shot of himself grilling a steak in LA. The timing, painfully ironic, and the contrast, absolutely brutal. On one side of the world, a father grieving a bond that used to be unbreakable. On the other, a son living it up in luxury, wrapped in the comfort of his new circle. And to really get why Brooklyn drifted so far, you've got to look at where he landed. The Peltz family doesn't just have wealth, they've got billionaire-level power. Nelson Peltz isn't just rich, he's a financial heavyweight who moves in circles so elite, even the Beckhams look like newcomers trying to get in. When Brooklyn packed his bags for LA, it wasn't just about chasing sunshine, he was stepping into the Peltz empire. Insiders say Nelson took him under his wing, treating him like a protege, even a second son. He brought Brooklyn to high-stakes meetings, mentored him on business moves, and showed him a world that operated on a whole new level. Overnight, Brooklyn wasn't just the Beckham boy anymore, he was carrying the Peltz name with pride. The Peltzes play a different kind of game, private, powerful, and obsessed with control. People close to them say Nicola's family gave Brooklyn something he'd never felt before, real influence. With the Beckhams, he was the son expected to follow the legacy, but with the Peltzes, he became the husband, part of a dynasty that let him finally stand on his own, and he's not looking back. He didn't just drift away, he made it official. Brooklyn legally changed his name to Brooklyn Peltz Beckham, locking in his new identity for the world to see. His whole career took a turn too, from his short-lived photography days to suddenly being labeled a chef under the Peltz spotlight. Gone were those cozy British countryside weekends, replaced with lavish Florida mansions and glittering A-list dinner parties. This wasn't a move across the map, it was a total rebrand. And honestly, you can't even bring up Brooklyn and Nicola without the comparison screaming at you. They've turned into Hollywood's own version of Harry and Meghan. The similarities are wild. The adored British golden boy and his bold American wife, the ocean between them and their families, and the silent tension that everyone's whispering about. It's pure drama, royal-level style. No wonder the press crowned them the royals of pop culture. And just like the real royals, this split has the public completely divided. One camp rides for Victoria, saying Nicola's the reason Brooklyn drifted away, that she pulled him from his tight-knit family and took control. Then there's Team Brooklyn, claiming he finally broke free from a world obsessed with image and control to live life his way. Social media's going wild, treating it like a full-on celebrity war, and the Beckhams reportedly can't stand it. For David, who spent decades shaping his image as the polished British gentleman, being compared to an exiled royal family hits deep. But the longer Brooklyn stays quiet, the louder that spare narrative grows. He's no longer the golden heir everyone adored. He's the son who walked away, and the world can't stop watching. Here's the part that's barely leaked. As 2026 unfolds, things between the Beckhams and the Peltzers have reportedly gone fully corporate. No more casual texts or family chats. Everything is now filtered through lawyers. Insiders say there's even a formal communication protocol in place, meaning if David or Victoria want to contact their own son, it has to go through official reps. Imagine that, one of the world's most glamorous families reduced to legal emails and scheduled correspondence. The fame, the fortune, the legacy, all hanging by a thread, and that silence says more than any press release ever could. This isn't just a family disagreement anymore, it's a brand war. The Beckhams are fighting to protect the empire they built, while the Peltzers are defending their own dynasty just as fiercely. And caught between these two powerhouse families sits Brooklyn, or maybe, just maybe, he's the one who signed off on this divide himself. The coldest sign yet? In Victoria's latest documentary project, Brooklyn's practically erased. The old clips from the 2000s are there, the adorable family moments, the rise of the Beckham legacy, but in the modern-day footage, he's missing. Reports claim he turned down the chance to be interviewed. Think about that. Saying no to being part of your own mother's legacy film? That's not a scheduling issue, that's a deliberate statement. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about good guys or bad guys, it's about what happens when a family turns into a brand. David and Victoria built a clawless empire, every move perfected, every photo staged, every child fitting the image. But kids don't stay inside the script forever. Brooklyn didn't just step out of line, he tore up the playbook and started his own story from scratch. So here's the real question. Is Brooklyn turning his back on his parents, or is he the first Beckham bold enough to admit that the perfect family was never perfect at all? Maybe that glossy dream life was more of a cage than anyone realized. Whatever the truth is, one thing is undeniable. The untouchable Beckham image is gone. What's left now is real, raw, and broken in places. Proof that no amount of fame, fortune, or designer filters can keep a family picture perfect forever. You can't make someone stay, not even in a family built on fame and gold-plated royalty. The silence stretching between London and LA is deafening, and in the world of the ultra-famous, silence isn't peace, it's power, the kind that costs more than anything money can buy. But if you think the Beckham saga is wild, buckle up. Hollywood's got a fresh disaster brewing. The legal chaos out there is explosive. A major lawyer's sudden exit is cracking open a vault of hidden secrets buried deep inside a legendary filmmaker's empire. And what's spilling out is way darker than anyone guessed. Compared to that, the Beckham family drama looks like a Sunday brunch gone awkward. Don't miss the full scoop. It's all coming up next on Star Watch. And if you live for the stories the headlines won't tell, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a single scandal drop.